Hey, I'm Matt, and this is the SE8 sub. It's a compact offering by the direct-to-consumer company Emotiva. As you can see, it's a small, compact sub that features an MDF cabinet wrapped in their typical vinyl leather imitation wrap. You get this grille as well. It's a pretty simple design with some tapers at the corners to give it a little more flair. The front driver is actually passive, and the bottom houses the power driver. They are 8-inch woofers with rubber surround and treated paper cones. The feet are plastic, but have rubber pads at the bottom to assist with some of the bass vibrations. Now, if we turn this unit around, we can see the amp. It's a Class D amp sporting 200 watts RMS. The sub has a frequency response of 33 to 200, and it can get down to 33 as stated without an issue, but beyond that you'll notice a pretty quick drop off, which is expected in this configuration and size. Looking at the back, we have a power input, and alongside it the power switch, a line voltage selector, the power mode switch so you can set the sub to sense and turn on based on a signal present, the phase selector so you can match up the phase with your speakers, a crossover knob to assist in blending your sub with your speakers, a gain knob to match the amount of bass required. Now for the connections. First, let's cover the high-level inputs. You can use this method if you lack the ability to use LFE or line-level inputs. Don't concern yourself with the speaker load impedance. This tiny power draw used to get the signal will have no negative effects. The next connection is the LFE input. This will be the common connection you will find on AVRs that I'm sure you're familiar with. Next door to that, we have the line level inputs. This can be connected to a line level source that has stereo full range outputs. The final item on the rear is the high pass crossover. This is the outputs as well as the selectable crossover switch. What this will enable you to do is basically take some of the bass burden off of your bookshelf or floor standing speakers. If you take the bass duties away from your small drivers, it will allow them to play cleaner and louder with less distortion. From there, the sub will take over these duties as it's much more capable of this singular task. This is a bit of a rarity at this price point. You can find this option on some of the premium models, but none that I'm aware of at this price point. This is similar to what an AVR does in your home theater setup, where you'd go into the settings and select your crossover points between the speakers. The 3-position switch on the back has 60, 80, and 100 as options. You will need to look into your specific speaker's frequency response to best determine which of these is the best fit to integrate with. I was mostly working between 60 to 80. That seemed to give me the best results while blending. Just a reminder, you are not required to use this configuration. The sub performs very well without the bass management crossover to the speakers. You can simply plug into any of the inputs on the sub and run your speakers full range and bring your sub into the picture using the crossover knob on the rear of the amp, like a typical sub configuration. Now let's talk connectivity options. Great news for those who need extra connectivity options, but lack the preamp outs. We have the high-level inputs that can be used if you are lacking the sub out or preamp outs on your amplifier. It's as simple as running speaker wire to the sub for signal, then out of the sub to the speakers. I myself like that they included this. Mini won't need it, but if you also dabble in the vintage audio, you will be more likely to run into a receiver without the pre-outs for a sub, and this can eliminate extra items like a line-level converter, which I know I've had to use in the past. Does this fill the high-end void? Does the SE8 fill the void of budget options that compete with some of the premium models? Well, yes and no. Look, the money here was mostly spent on performance, which is exactly what I would have done as well. The exterior looks fine, but it's not what you'd get from something like a Rel, obviously. The good news, where this may lack in exterior aesthetics, they make up for it in budget performance. And I do feel like it's a great option, but maybe best suited for the music enthusiast who doesn't want to spend a premium. This sub is compact in nature and can be hidden away quite easily. Compact subs are really gaining popularity in the last couple years, and this one fits the niche very well. What size of space? I feel that a small to medium room or desktop near-field configuration is actually a perfect solution. During testing, I primarily used this as my desk solution, pairing it with a B1 Plus from Emotiva and the Yamo C93 II. I felt they paired really well. We need to realize the SE8 is not going to replace a large driver with a big amp in a wide open living room by any means, but it can certainly be considered for home theater with reasonable expectations, that this sub is rated for 33 Hz. If your room is the right size, you could get a pair of these and have a nice compact setup for less than what many competitors offer for a single unit. So what does it sound like? What you get from the SE8 is a small sub with good tone. You won't have the clinical thump sound like a high-end, really heavy well-braced cabinet and large woofer can produce, but this is almost always the case with a small and light sub. They will have a little bit of their own character. I don't want you to think that I'm implying it's a bad sound. It's not. It's actually really good for its size and weight of this unit. Some budget options for subs start to get really muddy and distorted at high volumes, but this one remains under control, and I can say that it integrates smoothly with my bookshelves, but can still deliver authority in my space. The volume and crossover are very simple to fine-tune as well. You'll have a smooth transition from speaker to subs, likely in minutes. In conclusion, this sub is great for the person looking to add more depth to their system. Perfect for bookshelves in a small to medium-sized room. I think it may be one of the best options under $350. Another option to consider in this category would be something like the Speedwoofer MK2, but it's going to come in at a higher price point, $449. But it's another suggestion of mine if you're looking to avoid the premium compact sub options. The SE8 isn't going to be the shining centerpiece of your setup as far as the design, but get one or two of these in the right configuration, and you're looking at an incredible bang for the buck, and I have no problem recommending it. Well, thanks for watching today. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.